9, 8, 7, 6.
What's up? Welcome back to another edition of DBSN Overtime. I'm JD.
And I'm Eli Baxter, and we're excited. We're going to start out once again with our NFL, but it's a short one, the shortest one we've had so far. Only 2 games this past week, as it was the conference championships. We're going to start with the AFC championship, where the Commanders, they got handled by the Philadelphia Eagles in Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, that was a big matchup. Possible MVP favorite, even though he's not a quarterback. Running back Saquon Barkley for the Eagles. He had another really good game, 3 touchdowns on 118 yards. Jalen Hurts for the Philadelphia Eagles, also another QB MVP favorite. He had 246 yards passing and 1 touchdown.
Yeah, on the other side of the ball, though, Jaden Daniels, the rookie, he's played really well, most likely the rookie of the year on the offensive side. He still had a good game, even though his team didn't perform. It was more on the defensive side because of those 55 points put up by the Eagles. But Jaden Daniels, if they won, he would have became the first rookie to start a Super Bowl in NFL history.
Yeah, 3 turnovers, too, for the Commanders, so not really on Jaden Daniels. And I wanted to see him do it, see if he could carry them to the Super Bowl. That would have been a really cool feat to see, as just not something that comes up very often.
Yep. And then in the other conference, the NFC, it was a shootout. It was close. The Kansas City Chiefs, they were the home team, and they did end up coming out on top, 32-29. There was a questionable call late, once again, for the Chiefs, going their way. It seemed like the Bills got the first down, but the refs called it otherwise. So the Bills, they lose once again to the Chiefs in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that was the Chiefs' either 14th or 15th win that they won only on 1 score difference. So the Chiefs, a team that know how to win, and they know how to win in close games. So this Super Bowl, they're looking to get 3 in a row, and something that they've shown they can do throughout the playoffs and the regular season.
Yeah, that would be the first three-peat in NFL history by any team. So if it happens, it'll be definitely something a lot of fans will talk about, either if they agree with it or disagree with it or like it.
And for the Super Bowl preview, now we obviously have the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. And that's coming up quickly, just about over a week out, February 9th. That'll be played in New Orleans this year. And it's actually a rematch of the 2023 Super Bowl. So 2 teams that they've been dominant for a little bit, and they're back at it for another Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Chiefs obviously coming out on top in that one, as that was their start of their little run here. Before the Super Bowl, though, we get to watch the Pro Bowl and all the Pro Skills Challenge this week, and with all the best in the league. So that'll be fun to watch. And then earlier in the week, was the Ohio State Buckeyes. They won the national championship against Notre Dame.
Yeah, that was a game that was very a little bit anticlimactic, I thought. For what I thought would be a little bit of a closer, tighter game. Score was obviously 34-23, so at the end it was a little tighter. But after Notre Dame scored that first drive off of their QB just sneaking and running through for about 10 plays there to get down for a touchdown, after they scored the first 7 points, it was a pretty dominant Ohio State game. But a good game nonetheless, and good job by the Buckeyes getting it done.
Yeah, after that first 7 points by Notre Dame, Ohio State scored 31 unanswered points.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much when I think everybody knew that they were going to win once they did that. Notre Dame started to make it close though there at the end, and it was looking like it could be a close game down the stretch, but Ohio State coming out on top. After that win, defensive coordinator for the Buckeyes, Jim Knowles, he signed a new deal with the Penn State Nittany Lions, a rival. He is from Philadelphia, so it was a little surprising, but not at the same time. They paid him a pretty penny.
Yeah, an interesting decision for a national championship winning defensive coordinator to leave the team he just won with, and a team that's poised to be good again for the next couple of years. So, interesting decision, but yeah. And now we'll transition to Worldwide Wacky Sports with John.
Bandy is a winter sport that started in England in the 19th century. It's played on a large ice field with 2 teams of 11 players. The goal is to hit a small ball into the opponent's net using curved sticks. The game has two 45-minute halves. Unlike ice hockey, body checking isn't allowed. Focusing more on skill and speed, popular in Sweden, Russia, and Finland, bandy combines elements of both soccer and hockey.
John, and we're gonna transition into other college sports. The college basketball week is wrapping up here. I've had a hectic week. There was a lot of top-ranked teams going at it. To start out, the number 1 ranked Auburn, they won a close game at home over the number 6 ranked Tennessee, 53-51. And then later, number 7 ranked Houston, they went on the road and they beat the number 12 ranked Kansas Jayhawks 92-86. That was a double overtime game, so it was a great game to watch. And then an upset, the Vanderbilt Commodores, they're getting upsets on football and in basketball. They beat the number 9 ranked Kentucky Wildcats 74-69. And after that, the fans, they stormed the court. They got fined $500,000 for that court storming, and all that money it goes to Kentucky. So it'll be it was a kind of a win-lose there for Kentucky. Still got some money from it. And then Texas, they pulled off an upset 70-69 over the number 13 ranked Texas A&M Aggies, a rivalry matchup there. Texas was down 43-25 at the half. And then in the Big Ten, another upset. Unranked Minnesota, they upset the number 15 ranked Oregon Ducks 77-69 at home. And then Missouri, the number 22 ranked team, they beat number 16 ranked Ole Miss 83-75. And then Xavier, they got an upset over the 2-time defending champs, UConn, 78-72. Kansas State, they upset West Virginia 73-60. Then Arizona, they had a huge overtime victory over the number 3 ranked Iowa State in the Big 12, 86-75. It was an overtime win after Caleb Love knocked down a near half-court buzzer beater to send the game to overtime. And then number 12 ranked Kentucky, they rebounded and they won 78-73 over the number 8 ranked Tennessee on the road. And then number 4 ranked Alabama, they won a close one over Mississippi State, who's ranked 14th, 88-14. And with that, we're going to go into next week's Picks of the Week. So we're starting out with number 5, Florida. They're heading to Knoxville and taking on the Tennessee Volunteers. Who do you have for that one?
I think at home, Tennessee, with how everything's looked the past week, with all the upsets, I think Tennessee will be another upset at home. I think they'll win.
I'm going to go the opposite side. Tennessee, they've struggled a little bit, losing to Auburn and Kentucky. I'm gonna take the Gators on this one. They're looking like they're kind of back now after the past couple of absences of years. And then number 20 ranked Missouri, they're heading to Mississippi State. Who do you have for that one?
That'll be another close one, I think. And but I think the home team again, Mississippi State, will get it done.
I'm gonna take Mississippi State on this one as well. And then Auburn, the number 1 ranked team in the country, they're traveling to Ole Miss. It was ranked 23rd. Who do you have for this one?
I think Auburn. I think they showed last week they can get it done against other good teams, so I think they'll win again.
I'm going to go with that one too. They're looking unstoppable right now. And then the number 22 ranked Texas Tech is going to head to Houston, take on the Cougars, who is ranked 6th. Who do you have for that one?
Another close one. I mean, all of these highly ranked teams, but I'll go with Houston for that one.
I'm going to agree with that one. They got a good win on the road against Kansas. I think they do it again. And then number 25 ranked UConn, they're taking on the number 9 ranked Marquette. Who do you have for this one?
Lower ranked UConn, but they've shown their good program, and I think they'll win this one, get an upset.
I still think Marquette's going to do this one. They've looked really strong this year, and I think it's going to be one of their years where they're going to make a deep run in the postseason. So I'm going to take Marquette. And then number 3 ranked Iowa State heads to Kansas to take on the number 11 ranked Jayhawks. Who do you have for that one?
I'll have to take Iowa State for that one.
I'm going to agree with that. You on that. And then Marquette, they're back in action. They're going to take on the number 15 ranked St. John's away. What's your take on this one?
I think Marquette they'll bounce back from their first predicted loss that I have, and they'll win the second one.
I'm going to say that they're going to continue the momentum and take a W against St. John's. And then Vanderbilt, who just got the upset, they're taking on the Florida Gators away. Who do you have for this one?
go with Florida here. They're looking like a good team.
I'm gonna agree. I don't know if the hype train will carry on for Vanderbilt. It didn't really in football. I don't think it's going to in basketball. And then the number 12 ranked Kentucky, they head on the road to take the 23 ranked Ole Miss. I'm gonna go with the Wildcats on this one.
Yeah, I'll agree. I have to agree with that one. They're a very good program, and yeah, I think they'll get it done.
And number 8, Tennessee, they play host to the number 20 ranked Missouri. I'm gonna go with the Volunteers on this one.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Okay, it's what a lot of people I think are thinking. Tennessee's looking really good. Missouri kind of struggling, but still doing really well. And then a big rivalry matchup. It's the two teams from North Carolina, only 8 miles away from each other. Number 2 ranked Duke Blue Devils plays host to the unranked North Carolina Tar Heels. Who do you have for this one?
Have to go with Duke.
I'm gonna stay with that too. They looked really good against NC State, as NC State looked really strong in the beginning, but Duke closed it out. I'm gonna go with the Blue Devils, but it's always a good game between those two.
Yeah, and we transition now to NHL news. In Columbus, the Blue Jackets are still very hot. Excuse me. About midway through the season, they sit 5 games above 500, and they have a record of 7-2-1 in their last 10 games. So they've been dominant right now, and they hold on to a wild card spot in the Eastern Conference, which means they have a shot to the playoffs right now if the season would end right now. So great stuff out of Columbus. They have a new coach, Dean Evison. He's been great for them. Lots of system switch ups. They've been playing a little bit of a different style, and they've been looking really good. And in Washington, also in the Metro, the same division as the Blue Jackets, goalie Logan Thompson has taken the NHL and goaltending world by storm this season. He has 22 wins and just 2 losses, and those 22 wins contribute to Washington's 34 and just 2 of Washington's 11 losses. So he's been a big part of Washington's resurgent season, and yeah, he's looking like a Vezina favorite to be the goalie of the year this year. And speaking of awards, Hart Trophy favorite Kirill Kaprizov will be out for at least a month with lower body surgery. Like I said, he's a Hart Trophy favorite. He was having his best statistical season, although he only played 37 games as he was out earlier in the year. So it looks like he probably won't have a chance of winning any awards this year as he has not played enough, but definitely interesting stuff to see how that race will separate and open up as he'll be out for a little bit.
All right, thank you, JD, and we're going to send it to Alex with This Week in Sports.
This Week in Sports, January 29th. January 29th, 1936, the Baseball Hall of Fame was born. 5 players were inducted into the initial class, selected by the Baseball Writers Association of America. Those 5 players included were Honus Wagner, Ty Cobb, Babe Ruth, Christy Mathewson, and John Walter. Combined, the class holds 5 MVPs, 4 no-hitters, 6 Triple Crowns, and 10 World Series championships. 3 years later, the Baseball Hall of Fame Museum opened in Cooperstown, New York, and still is running today. As of 2025, there are now 351 players inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Alex. And with that, we're going to transition into the NBA. Look at the standings. Top 2 teams in each conference have stayed the same. The Cleveland Cavaliers, they're in the top of the Eastern Conference as they hold an impressive record of 38-9. They play the Atlanta Hawks tonight at home. And then in second in the East, the Boston Celtics are sitting at 33-15, and they play in New Orleans tomorrow against the Pelicans. And then out west, the Thunder, they only have 9 losses as well. They're 37-9, and they'll play in February, on February 1st, as they host the Sacramento Kings. And then the Houston Rockets, they are 32-14, and they play tonight in Memphis against the Grizzlies. And with that, the last week had a lot of exciting games. To start out, we were in Paris as Victor Wembanyama, the French himself, got an impressive win over the Pacers as his team won 140-110. And then the Mavericks, they beat the Thunder 121-115 on Thursday. The Celtics, they lost to their rival, the Lakers, 117-96 on Thursday. And then the Cavaliers, they fell in a tough one to the 76ers, only by 3, 132 to 129 on Friday. And then another Paris game, the Pacers got a little bit of a revenge as they won 136 to 98, bit of a domination there. The Nuggets, they fell to the Timberwolves, 133 to 104 on the road on Saturday. The Celtics, they rebounded. They won 122 to 107 over the Mavs on Saturday. And then the Rockets, they were on the road and they beat their Cavs, 135 to 131. And then the Rockets got another big win in the East as they beat the Celtics 114-112. So back-to-back games, they beat the 1 and 2 in the East. And then the Nuggets last night fell to the Knicks 112 to 122.
Yeah, and looking forward to this upcoming week, we have another slate of games. The Rockets will be taking on the Grizzlies Thursday. That's tonight. The Rockets, they've won 3 of the meetings against the Grizzlies this season, so they look poised to do that again and continue their momentum. The Rockets will play the Knicks on Monday. The Rockets, they've won their previous meeting against the Knicks this season. And the Celtics, they'll play the Cavs on Tuesday. That's a series split of 1-1 thus far this season. 2 very good teams, so that's a big matchup in the NBA.
Yep, that'll be exciting to watch. And then in PGA news in golf, Sepp Straka, he won the American Express 2 weeks ago. And then last week, Harris English, he won the Farmers Insurance Open. So both of those guys getting their first wins of the season and look to carry momentum as we have a lot left in the season. And this week, we've got the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am that starts today, which already started. Or no, it's going to start here soon. Scotty Scheffler, he's back in action after starting the season out with a couple missed events because of surgery and injury. Rory McIlroy is back as well, so it'll be exciting to see those two battling back. And it's looking like an exciting PGA season coming up as we've got a lot of emerging stars. And then in TGL news on Monday, Jupiter Lynx, they got their first win over the Boston Common 4-3 as it was the first overtime match in TGL history, in its short history, which they just go to closest to the pin challenge on the green. And Tom Kim, he started out with a win in the overtime, and then Kevin Kisner finished it out, and the Jupiter Lynx got the win. Tom Kim, the rookie in TGL, sticks the closest shot in TGL history to 2 feet on a par 3, and he won that hole. It was hole 12. And then Boston Common, that was their first TGL match, and they'll be back in action here soon against LA Golf Club. And that was a great matchup between Tiger and Rory, as they both created TGL, which stands for Tomorrow Golf League. So it was an exciting, great match, and we look to see great stuff coming up here in TGL.
Yeah, just 2 feet away on that par 3. I think they're just waiting for a hold one.
Yeah, it was close. I was watching it. I was hoping that ball went in, but it was close. Tom Kim had a great reaction too.
Yeah.
He was on fire in that match. And with that, we're going to transition it to Ohio sports with Ian.
Thanks, Eli and JD. This week in Ohio sports, the Blue Jackets have a trio of away games coming up. The Jackets face the Las Vegas Golden Knights tonight at 10 in Vegas before heading to Utah tomorrow to take on the Utah Hockey Club at 9. Then, on Sunday night at 6, they play the Dallas Stars in Texas. Yesterday, the Cavs crushed the Miami Heat 126-106, improving their record to 38-9. Tonight at 7, the Cavs host the Atlanta Hawks and then will host the Dallas Mavericks on Sunday at 3:30. After an 82-65 win over Iowa on Monday, the Ohio State men's basketball team takes on Penn State in Happy Valley at 6:30 tonight on Fox. The Buckeyes then head to Illinois for a big game on Sunday at 1 on CBS. Meanwhile, the 19-1 Ohio State women's basketball team hosts Washington at 5 on Sunday. That's it for this week's Ohio Sports Roundup. This has been Ian Miller, and now back to the guys.
Thank you, Ian, for another edition of Ohio Sports Roundup. Thank you for watching another edition of DBSN Overtime. I'm JD Lowe.
And I'm Eli Baxter, and we'll see you guys again next week on another episode of Overtime.